Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Tamisha, your occupational therapy coach. And in this video, we are going to go through another OTA practice question. I know how much you guys like these questions, so I'm bringing back another one. Okay, so we're going to go ahead. We're going to dive right into this. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, make sure you leave it in the comment below. And please don't share your answer in the comment. It just helps for other people to be able to answer the question. All right, let's jump right in. All right, so here's our question. An OTA is working with a 9-month-old infant in an early intervention setting. The caregiver expresses concern that the child is not yet crawling. During the evaluation with the OTA observes that the infant can sit independently and bang two toys together. Based on typical development milestones, which of the following skills would the OTA most likely expect the infant to achieve next? All right. So usually in these videos, I like to cover my options, or I should say my answer choice. And I'm going to go ahead and do that now. All right. Now, the reason I do this is because I really want us to focus on the question and not worry too much about the answer choices as we're going through this. So let's look at some key things that I really want to bring up. Okay. So we know that we are working with a 9-month-old, okay, and we're in early intervention setting. The individual that's expressing concern is the caregiver, okay? And what is the concern that they're expressing? The concern they're expressing is that the child is not yet crawling, okay? So during the evaluation with the OTA, the OTA observes that the infant can. So these are the things that the infant can do that we are going to want to be mindful of, right? So we know that the infant can sit independently, and we know that the infant can bang two toys together. Okay? So just based on that information, that's going to help us answer the very last question, which is the most important part of this whole question. Okay, so whenever you guys are doing the exam, know that the very last question is the most important, because this is what your answer is going to be tailored around. Okay, so what we need to make sure we're answering is based on typical developmental milestones. Which of the following skills would the OTA most likely expect the infant to achieve next? Okay, so let's take a look at our answer choice before I kind of jump into detail, but I highlighted these key terms, key phrases, because I want you to pay attention to it when you are looking at your options, okay? So let's look at the options that we have here. So the options we have here, it says walk independently without support, which is A. B is pull to stand and cruise along furniture. C, use a pinch or grasp to pick up small items. Or D, stack two blocks independently. Okay, so this is the point in time of the video where I'm going to have you pause your video, okay? And I want you to pick your option, pick your answer choice. Make sure you write down the rationale, okay? By writing down the rationale really helps you to see where you're at and how you're thinking, and really helps to build on your critical thinking muscle, okay? And once you do that, come on back. All right, perfect. So hopefully you did that. Hopefully you picked your answer choice. Hopefully you write down your rationale. Okay, so let's go through this, and we'll go ahead and pick the answer choice. Okay, so as you see here, I have underlined that we're looking at 9-month-old. Okay, Now, the caregiver is concerned that the child is not crawling. All right. But we do know that the 9-month-olds can sit independently and bang toys. Now, it's good to understand that usually at age 6 months, I should say at age 6, not age 6, but 6 months. That might be confusing if I say it that way. Let me say at the point at 6 months, this is where a child starts sitting. So this is really the starter sitting phase. Okay, and at this starter sitting phase, the child is able to sit supported on hands. So they're able to prop themselves with a wide base of support kind of style sitting. But by the time they get to 7 to 9 months, they're a stronger sitter, right? So they're able to sit, they can do trunk rotation, right? They can weight shift. So this is good, okay? That they're sitting independently. That's what we want to see. All right. Now, the thing is, at 9 months, okay, it's normal to actually start crawling at 9 months. All right. So even though this child is at 9 months, does not necessarily mean that they are behind developmentally. Okay. Because at 9 months, we do see intentional and controlled release of objects, which we have here with the banging of the toys. And they also do normally start crawling. Okay. So I wouldn't be really alarmed if the child is not yet crawling at 9 months. And that's the thing that the caregiver is expressing, that they're concerned the child is not yet crawling. But they're 9 months. So usually at 9 months, we do start see them crawling. So in this kind of scenario, I would say we can give them a little bit more time. Now, if it had said at 12 months, the caregiver was concerned that the child was not yet crawling, then that is more of a concern, right? So that is good to know, but does that really answer our question? Not really. Based on typical development milestones, which of the following skills would the OTA most likely expect? So this is important, right? Expect and most likely the infant to achieve next. Okay. So when we look at our answer choices here, so we have walk independently without support. Okay. Well, this child is only 9 months. So our next milestone would not be walk independently without support, right? Because typically walking without support develops at 12 to 15 months. So this is going to be too advanced for a 9-month-old. All right, so the correct answer is going to be B. Okay, pull to stand and cruise along with furniture. Now, when it comes to C, okay, use a pincher grasp to pick up small items, typically emerges closer to 10 to 12 months. Okay, and this too is a slightly too advanced. All right. And then stack 2 blocks independently. Again, this is going to be too advanced, and we would normally see this closer to 15 to 18 months. So what we're going to actually see next is pull to stand and cruise. Okay, this is usually developed appropriately around 9 to 10 months. Okay. So, yes, we see the concern here, but if you are aware, let me underline it. If you're aware and you understand typical developmental milestones, this is not going to deter you from actually getting the correct answer. And sometimes you want to make sure you're not assuming anything, but you're answering the question for what it's asking. It's giving you background information, right, in this scenario. But really what you are answering is based on typical developmental milestones. All right. So I hope that this was helpful. Definitely like, share. Don't forget to subscribe. The reference for this, the APA reference, is at the bottom of the video if you would like to look it up. And I hope that you enjoyed my video. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.